Okay, anybody there?
I know.
Hunger Games.
Anybody look at my other shoe?
That was actually on last night.
The crew and friends of the USS Bonaventure, on the occasion of our anniversary, gather to remember one of our own, one whom we have known for a tragically short time, but came to value and care for very much. Commander Dawn Walters left us on April 17th, but not without enriching us with her presence first. Some of us knew Dawn since college days. Some of us only met her at the 2013 StellarCon. All of us came to care for her and appreciate her enthusiasm. Dawn was one of the founding members of the group that started StellarCon in the first place and quickly became an active and integral part of the USS Bonaventure. The crew awarded Dawn a commendation for courage because of all that she has faced and has struggled against, and promoted her to full commander for her contributions to the ship, the sci-fi community in general, and just because of our connections with her and her efforts to attend meetings that it was clearly a struggle for her even to physically be at. And I am working on getting an application for the Region 1 Award Dearest Blood for her. There are some problems getting the application to actually accept applications, and I've been having some issues with dealing with that. But Dearest Blood is an award. It comes from a reference that Kirk made of Spock in Star Trek III, and this time we've paid for the party with our dearest blood. And that's an award that Starfleet Region 1 gives out posthumously. And I will be trying to get that for you. The physical award will look like a little triangle ribbon, like an original series dress uniform award. And it's a little ribbon that can go with that. I'd like to invite Joyce to give us some words from The Wounded Sky.
We are those who visit time but belong to eternity, and to each of us comes a time when that visit is done. For one of our number, our dear shipmate and sister Dawn, that time has been accomplished, and we are met here to bid her farewell. In her living and her dying, she has conquered both life and death, and her mortal nature has put on immortality, thus bringing to pass the ancient words, "O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where thy victory?" And so, seeing that Dawn has taken the universe unto herself, we bid her farewell until we shall meet again, knowing that by so doing, our lives will never lack for starlight, nor our hearts for our beloved one's memory, until time shall end and the sun be no more.
Thank you, Joyce. I would like to invite other crew members who would like to speak of any remembrances they have. I know not everyone here knew Dawn, and that's fine, but many did, and I'd like anybody who wants to, especially those who've known her for longer than the rest of us, if they want to say any words about her, they want to offer us any insights, stories.
I'll be first. I mean, I barely knew her, as I said, but I'm really crying. I just remember when I first met her, I was new, of course, and she was very welcoming with open arms. She had a really wonderful smile. Even when she's in pain, she, as they said before, she's pushed through. I mean that amazed me. I mean, she's just an amazing woman. I also remember that even though she was in pain, she would joke around because she was warning me about coming here, and if you're not a Star Trek fan already, you definitely will be. You might never leave. But it's not a bad thing because I've always been a Star Trek fan. Just didn't even know about the group until meetup.com. So, but she would stick by everybody's side, and she was just, always very welcoming. Even a very good inspiration, I'd say.
Well, I have to say basically what Chris and Jenny said was that she really amazed me with how strong she was with all she was going through, and tried to make the meetings no matter how bad she felt. She came, and I know after her chemo, some of her hair was gone, and she was just there, and like you said, smiling and just amazing to me. And up to the very last, she was just amazing. So I really miss her, and I'm glad I got to meet her.
I just want to say that one of the things that I remember most was that she said her biggest regret was that she didn't find this group sooner, and that she found so many friends that cared for her, and Star Trek was always a big part of her life, and she wished she had found Bonaventure sooner, so she could have been part of it longer. And she loved you guys very much, and she wanted you to know that. So I thank you on her behalf for the friendship that you all extended to her. Those that only met her recently, and those that knew her for a very long time. Thank you very much. She has passed the final frontier into the undiscovered country.
We thank you and Heidi for, in a way, I guess, sharing her with us.
Yeah.
And we will all wish that we could have benefited from her presence and her interest and energy for a much longer time.
I was going to say, I didn't know Dawn as well as the people in Greensboro, but when she was telling about when you and Heidi were little, and every Saturday night you'd put sheets on the living room floor and eat either spaghetti or pizza in the living room, and it was like this big deal while you watched Star Trek. And I thought, that is so practical with somebody with kids. Don't fuss at them for spilling stuff. Just put something down so they don't have to be so careful, especially with spaghetti. It's always stuck in my mind. That must have been so much fun.
Our Friday and then Saturday night tradition was Papa John's Pizza and either Next Generation or DS9 and then Voyager and yeah, that was just always our tradition on Friday nights when it was then, and then when it started airing on Saturday nights instead. That was just the routine.
That's cool. Still had the sheet on the floor?
By the time Voyager started airing, we were expected to be able to clean up after ourselves. So she usually still had the sheet on her, though, because otherwise she wouldn't.
Okay.
I was at UNCG the same time Dawn was, just like Joyce and Patty and a couple of others of us, Renee. But I didn't know her at the time, or if I did, I might have had some classes with her and just didn't know it. But I found out after the April meeting, we went by her apartment and gave her the commander promotion and all that, that she had dated somebody that I knew, a young man named Matthew Shope. I knew Matthew through Boy Scouts before we were at UNCG. He was the lab instructor for my physics class when I got to UNCG. I ran into him again. And Matthew is a fine gentleman, and that speaks well for Dawn and for Matthew. They worked together for a while during the college days. In the past year, got to know her very well, felt like. She was very warm, very caring, very giving. She's missed greatly.
Anyone else wish to say anything?
Just knew her very briefly, but I wanted to tell the one time we went to go see a movie as a group, and before the movie we were talking, and I was having such fun